175 out of 3,000 people. I'm putting in the work, buddy. And if it delivers, I'm going to get on your level soon. My wife tells me we need a wine cellar like Cowherd. So,
All right. We call it tomorrow's headlines today. What will the headlines be tomorrow? Titans at the Ravens. What do you got?
Fascinating game. We've been on the Ravens slide for a little while, right, Colin?
Yep.
The headline will be Laction Jackson. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore really struggling. And again, we've been hammering away at this. And then last week in the monsoon, they did not look good in New England. Even if you don't want to kill them for that, we know that they're struggling to stop the run. Patriots, 173 yards on the ground last week. Calais Campbell injured, maybe out. Brandon Williams, nose tackle, probably out. And we know the Titans, they run the football more than Rudy Giuliani's hair dye runs down his face, okay? Derrick Henry, second in the league in rushing. This guy is licking his chops for another. He had 182 on the ground last year in the playoffs against these Ravens. I think they run the football and win this game outright as big 6-point underdogs.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I stayed away from that, but it is interesting. When you can run against the Ravens, you take a lead, and that is where Lamar struggles. So that's their problem now, is they're falling behind in games, and they weren't a year ago. They just weren't. All right, tomorrow's headlines today. I stayed away from this one. Dolphins at the Broncos. The line freaked me out. I think Miami should be favored by way more. It scared me. What do you got?
Certainly. I know Joy's loving this Dolphins run. Just an amazing streak. 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 weeks. The headline will be Tua hot to handle. I'm still riding that Tua train, Colin. Listen, this is the best first half team in the NFL this year.
Wow.
Highest point differential. And again, Denver Broncos. I mean, listen, Drew Lock is a joke at quarterback. 4 interceptions and a fumble. 55% completions this year. Broncos fans are tweeting at me, Jay, we need Tim Tebow back. Okay, he's more accurate than Drew Lock. This Broncos team is a mash unit. This is the stat that scared me. Last week against the Raiders were down both starting tackles. The Broncos did not have one hit on the quarterback.
Wow.
Okay, not one. And if you're not going to pressure Tua, I don't know how you're beating them. I do think Tua could struggle at altitude. His first maybe cold weather game, it's going to be like in the 40s. So low scoring, but I think Joy's Dolphins win again. I think they're winning the AFC East.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good point. Tackles were out. Drew Lock it's amazing. If you can't complete 62% in this league at this point in the NFL, I got it 25 years ago. Like right now in the NFL, it is made to complete 62%. All right, tomorrow's headlines today. Packers at the Colts. I like the Colts here. You?
Yes, I like the Colts early in the week, but then I saw some things, and the headline will be Rodgers sends Rivers packing. I'm going with Green Bay here. A little bit of a change of heart on my part, and a lot of it has to do with Devontae Adams. Looks like he's going to be okay. He missed practice Thursday. Alan Lazard is returning, okay? He's been out since week 3. We last saw him torching the Saints secondary, had like $150 through the air. Here's the number, okay? Aaron Rodgers has struggled a bit at times this year, but he's played 3 games in dome stadiums, okay? 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 73% completions, okay? That is a little bit scary. And if you look at the Colts, you're like, their defense is great. Okay, I get that. But who have they faced? Colin, the best quarterbacks they've faced? Kirk Cousins, and that was in week 2 or 3. And then Ryan Tannehill. This is a big step up in class against Aaron Rodgers. I just have a weird feeling that the Packers come out and are like, hey, we saw the Seahawks win. We saw their schedule. We've got to keep pace. We want that number 1 seed. I think the Packers here dominate. And the matchup to watch, Colin, okay? Xavier Rhodes is the best cornerback for the Colts, right? Playing great. Where was he before this? He was in Minnesota, and the Packers dominated him. Devontae Adams head-to-head just destroyed Xavier Rhodes. You can look up the numbers. I think the Packers open a can here and really have a strong performance against the Colts.
Good stuff. Tomorrow's headlines today. Chiefs looking for revenge at the Raiders.
Ooh, this is a fun one. Now, Colin, I want to preface this. Be careful, everybody. The headline will be Chiefs take a victory lap down the strip. Oh, yeah, cruising down the strip. Now, this is a big revenge game, right? Pat Mahomes' only loss this year, only interception came against the Raiders.
Wow.
And everybody knows John Gruden, after the game, took the buses on a victory lap around Arrowhead. I had Brent Musburger on my podcast this week, and he's an announcer for the Raiders. He was telling me about this, and he's like, listen, the Raiders have some good matchup opportunities here. And then you see the COVID list, and Cleveland Farrell, their best defensive lineman, pressured Mahomes 9 times in that earlier meeting. He's out. Their slot cornerback, he's out. And you start to look at it, you're like, oh boy, revenge game. Andy Reid, 18-3 off of a bye straight up. Colin, I can't make a case for the Raiders here. I do think the Chiefs win big in Vegas.
Yeah, the line was tastier earlier in the week. It was 6.5, now 8.5. But I still think with Mahomes, 8.5 doesn't scare me.
And remember that the total for this game, 56.5, which proves once again that everybody scores in Las Vegas. Everyone.
Tomorrow's headlines today, finally. Rams at Tom Brady and the Bucs.
Tremendous game, Monday Night Football. Yeah. Maybe we'll get together if the governor of California allows it. We'll watch this game. The headline will be Brady stays up past bedtime to beat the Rams. And listen, Tom Brady's primetime woes this year, they're a thing, Colin. Okay, 3 primetime games. I know you and Joy touched on it this week. They haven't covered the spread in either of them. And then I started to read about Tom Brady. We know he's psychotic about his diet. This is a guy who goes to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not even making this up. Okay, 9 o'clock bedtime. He takes naps during the day. So what does Bruce Arians do this week? We're holding practice at 8 o'clock at night, just so you guys don't have a big screw up here against the Rams. And I do think finally the Bucs break through. Quick word on the Rams. And we talked about this with Carissa Thompson on Monday. This Andrew Whitworth injury is massive for the Rams. Heart and soul of that team. Veteran left tackle. What do the Bucs do better than almost anybody in the league? Blitz the quarterback, bum rush with those great linebackers. I think Goff could be in for a long night. I'm taking the Bucs here to win at home on Monday Night Football.
Fox Sports Radio tomorrow. Jason will be on 10 to 1 Eastern. It's always a really well-prepared show. J-Mac, it's good seeing you as always, buddy.
All right, you too, man.
So we both like the Chiefs. We both like the Bucs. He went in on the Dolphins. You know, the Dolphins one makes me think I should have taken it. But sometimes, I've said this before, once or twice a year, I will see a number in Vegas and go, I don't get it. And it was the Dolphins number. And I said to you, Denver's got a backup quarterback. And it's a 3.5 point spread. It should be a 6-7 point spread.